Hey everyone, hello and welcome, Tony Bing here. Now for this test centre preview video, I'll actually be having a second look at Cyclops. He's recently had a whole lot of changes done to him, so it's really going to be quite interesting, this one. Now a lot of the animations are still very much work in progress. However, with the test centre looking like it's unlikely it'll see any update for the next week or so with the Christmas holidays, I figured I would put out this video for any Cyclops fans that are really eager to see some of these changes and don't have the ability to download Test Centre. So let's look at the first tree anyway. That's optic beams. Okay, now with this tree we have one new skill. The animation on it appears to have still been worked on, and we have a few other skills which have had a visual update as well. So the first skill we're looking at is Optic Blast. That's just still your basic ranged attack, and it offers a damage bonus versus slow. And then you have Explosive Blast. This provides vulnerability. Now I'm pretty certain the animation on this has been changed and it's been made a bit nicer, but again I'm noticing a huge placebo effect on Test Centre with so many skills I think have been cleaned up, are looking live and they're exactly the same, but I'll show it off anyway on the odd chance that it has been changed. There we go. I don't remember the area of effect looking as nice as that. But next up anyway, we have Optic Beam. So this is your ranged area channeled skill, and this will do damage bonus based on your attack speed, and it also slows. And then we have Focus Beam, which is your main range spender here really. Now this works slightly like EMF on Silver Surfer, and you gain damage the longer you channel it, but it also costs more to actually channel as well. So I'll show it because it has got a new animation. There we go, we can see that, and then the longer we hold it, the greater effect you're getting. So that looks really nice, I do like that a lot. Whether or not the skill can be built kind of into builds and be useful, I'm not too sure, but animation wise I certainly like it. Feels really quite powerful. And next up anyway, we have Shotgun Beam. This is just your standard weaken. And then we have Ricochet Beam, which is your ranged attack, and that will hit up to 9 enemies. And then we have Optic Devastation, which is your ranged area attack. It will also knock enemies down. And we'll look at the signature before looking at the new skill. Signature is Pfizer off. Nothing's really changed with that one there. The tooltip appears to have an error. It says damage reduction 0% multi-channeling, so hopefully that's not the case. The final skill we'll look at is Ruby Quartz Prism. So I'll show this particular one off here. It's 8-second cooldown on it. And there we go, so that's quite a nice looking skill there. Currently there's no sounds for it because it is still being worked on. You'll notice this with quite a few Cyclops skills. It's up again, so I'll show it off once more. There we go. It's got quite a nice area on it, given the fact that it's an 8-second cooldown skill. It will hopefully do some quite good damage once his damage is tuned as well, so it'll be good for clearing any trash that are around you. But let's look at the next tree now, and that would be Team Tactics. Now this tree by and large is formed with his summons. It's a Team Tactics tree. The first skill we do look at, however, is just a standard dash skill. It's his combat roll. It's got the usual cooldown of 4 seconds and max charges of 3. And then we have Master Tactician, which is his vulnerability. It's similar to Cyclops, and then it offers more than the usual 10%, but it doesn't have a full uptime. It's got a duration of 6 seconds and a cooldown of 15, but it offers a whopping 35% vulnerability and 35% weaken as well there, which is pretty huge. And then next up we have Strike Team Beast, which I'll quickly put on my bar to show off. Now this is changed, and you can still call in Beast, but after doing that he actually stays on the battlefield and tanks for you, so I'll show this off. Don't believe the animation is done. There we go. This looks to be showing off the Beast model that we'll be seeing sooner rather than later, and possibly one of the skills you'll be doing. So there we go, that's pretty nice. And next up we've got Strike Team Iceman. This just operates the same as it does from the past Test Centre iteration. Same with Strike Team Jean, just works the same there. And then we have Overwatch. So with this you're implying empowered to yourself and your allies. So it's a 5-second duration, 20-second cooldown. And then we have Tactical Disengage. and this is your kind of get out of jail free card. I was using this on Gambit recently, and if you've got the bar space for it, I do actually like skills like this now, and I feel that with the difficulty slider they'll become more and more important as time goes on. But the final skill we'll finish off this tree with is another new one. It's, well, it says it's Steel Cyclone and it's not. It's Angel Strike Team and he's been repurposed. So I'll show you off. The tooltip, as you can clearly see, is not complete, and also the animations are not complete as well, but it's half done, so we'll show it off to give you an idea of how it may look. So Angel comes in, picks you up and flies you about as you're firing off there. So that could be quite interesting once they add the actual visuals to it and finish it off once they add the beams to it. But let's now look at the next section anyway, which is talents and traits. Now with these talents and traits, we've really got quite a lot of options that have been changed from the first test centre iteration. We have quite a few talents that have been combined into one talent to free up a slot, and quite a few new talents have been created as a result of that. So first off, before we look at them, we'll very quickly look at the traits. We have offensive trait Concussive Force, which is critical hit chance 3%, Archetype Tactician, and the damage bonuses to energy and also intelligence attributes. Defensive trait is Evasive Manoeuvres, so it's dodge chance it provides, and also a bonus multiplier to both defense and dodge. And should you choose to go Punch Clops, you can get the 8% damage reduction when you hit with a melee power. So the first talent we look at is actually talking about what we mentioned a moment ago, Punch Clops. So with this, if you select it, close combat, various skills will change into the melee skills for you there. I'm pretty certain on the last test centre iteration this was broken over various talents, but now it all appears to be combined into one, which is really good to see. And next up in this line we have All New Strike Team Magic. So this is a new talent. This will transform Beast into All New Strike Team Magic. Now the actual animation on this isn't working at the moment, and well, not that it's not working, it's just not been completed yet, so I won't actually show the skill off. I'll activate it. So you can see the tooltip change there. There we go. We can see the magic tooltip. Now, one thing you'll notice I'll mention very quickly is a slight bug on TC at the moment, and when you activate a talent and then you hover over it, it loses a little blue line. So if I do this, if I move away quick enough, it keeps it, but if I hover over it, it loses it. So just if you're aware of that when working through this video, if you wonder what's happening, it's just a bug they are aware of and will be fixed for the next iteration. The next talent we look at anyway is X-Man Standing By. So with this you gain a 10% chance on hit to automatically activate Strike Team Iceman, so that's quite interesting. Talent line number 2, we start off with Improved Optics. So Focus Beam's damage amplification after channeling will now stack an additional time after channeling for an additional 1 second. We'll activate that. This makes this even more similar to EMF on Silver Surfer. The actual animation looks fantastic as it ramps up. There we go. So that's your main spender. But to look like that is completely amazing. And there we go. We've also got some some reinforcements getting called in as well here. Right, now next up, if you can hear me over the sound of those miniguns firing off, we have Maximum Optics. So fires it off, gains the following effects. It gains a damage buff and the spirit cost comes down by 100%, and spirit recovers regardless of power usage for 10 seconds there. So that could work well with the build where you buff this particular focus beam here. And just as I was saying that, as I realised with these being both on the same line, maybe it actually wouldn't work too well, to be honest. But the next skill we'll look at here anyway is Optic Power. So Optic Devastation becomes a charge up power and will now stun enemies. And talent line number 3, we start off with another Strike Team power which has been modified. This one will modify Iceman into Magneto. We'll activate this. The animation on Magneto doesn't appear to be active, but the animation on Magneto skill does. So let's show it off. Oh, saying that, there we go. He flew in. The first time I tried it, he actually didn't. That's nice. Next up anyway in this line, we have Beam Refraction. So Ruby Quartz Prisms, which is your new skill, restores Shotgun Beam's charges. Shotgun Beam gains 2 charges and it has a 100% critical hit chance for the new skill, the Ruby Quartz Prisms. The final talent in this line is Cut and Beam, so Ricochet Beam and Explosive Blast now cause a concussive bleed effect on enemies. Pretty simple there. So talent line number 4, we have Hyper Optics. So Optic Beam transforms into Hyper Optic Beam. So Hyper Optic Beam deals more damage, has a cooldown, and can only be channeled for a short time. The actual visual effects in this haven't been updated, so I won't show it off because it will just be the same as your generic Optic Beam, but hopefully they'll really ramp this up once they do that. But next talent, we have Vigilant Leader. So you apply Guarded and Inspired to allies while you're in combat, which is great to see. It's Cyclops as a leader, that's what he should be doing to people that are in his team. And then the final talent in this line is Energetic Leadership. So Overwatch instantly resets all non-ultimate, non-signature cooldown powers. Overwatch applies the team-wide effect Unbreakable as well there. And then we have the final talent line, which is Last Resort. So Visor Off is now channeled for 5 seconds and will channel when you are invulnerable. And then we follow that up with Leader of the X-Men. So Visor Off's cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds whenever you use a call-in power. That could possibly create an interesting build there. And then finally we have all new Strike Team Emma Frost. So Jean will change into Emma Frost, as we can see there. Again, the animation on this one doesn't appear to be complete just yet. So he jumps in and casts the signature. So that's nice. So he's certainly had an absolute ton of changes since the first test centre iteration. I do believe there's still a fair amount of work on him to be done, and it does look like these changes were kind of rushed out before the holiday period, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's great that Gaz managed to get the test centre up before the holidays for everyone that's hopefully got time off work to kind of play about and see some of the changes. So hopefully for the next iteration we'll see any bugs, we'll see all the visuals amped up, and if there's a big enough change I'll even do a third video for them if I get enough requests from Cyclops fans and enough comments about it. So I hope this video was useful, and I'll see you all again soon.